What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Give me 1 second here. Just opening the chat so I can see it over here on this other monitor. Christian, what's up, bro? Mandan, 100 Grandmaster. Timmy, Womack, Snailium. Eric. ZZZIB, what's up? What's up, you guys? Goku, how you doing? Lost, how you doing? How's everybody doing today? Tayshawn, what's up, bro? How's everybody's day going? Let me see if I can increase the size of this chat. Yeah, that should be good. Daniel, Caleb, what's up? How's everybody doing today? Goku, you said it's first time making it to a live. Welcome, man. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome. Is everybody able to hear me all right? Is the audio coming through good? You said so happy. That's good to hear, bro. It's been good. That's good to hear, you guys. Hold up. I'm just making sure I can see the actual chat. Okay, sick. All right, you guys, what's up? Today we're going to be doing a live stream debate for Killua versus Kurapika. I've made a whole video on this and went into detail with my thoughts on that. So, like, if you've seen the video and you have any disagreements with the video, this is a good time to bring those disagreements up, and we can talk about them, debate them, and if there's something you notice that I didn't notice, this is a time for you to be able to say that. Yeah, I mean, my stance on pretty much everything I said in that video, it's more or less still the same. There might be like some slight adjustments, but before we get into the debate portion, I'm just going to go over like a brief review of Kurapika's powers, just because they seem to be like the most misunderstood powers in the verse, and I guess there's some debate that can be had over like how his powers work as well, so we can yap about that for a bit. And then we'll get into just the actual debate portion stuff. And if anyone wants to join the debate, here's a quick tutorial on how to do that. So you go to my channel, right? Like, let's say you just go to my YouTube channel here. Then you click over to the post tab. And then you scroll down to this poll, this Kurapika versus Killua poll. You click on the comments, and then the pinned comment is a link that takes you to the like the Discord where we have the debates. So yeah, that's like how you join. If you want to debate me during the debate portion, that's how you do it. But the next like maybe 15 minutes or so, I'm just going to go through some power scaling for Kurapika and giving an analysis on his abilities. So yeah, I am about to get started. I'm just looking over to see if there's any big questions before I go. Jeremy said, "Been blessed, man." That's good to hear, bro. Good audio? Okay, good. All right, sick. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to get into just scaling and analyzing Kurapika's abilities. Then we're going to get into the debate portion, okay? Here, let me take a sip of this water before I start. But yeah, this is like, if you guys have seen the original video on this, and you disagreed with it, anything I said in there you didn't like, this is a great time to, you know, bring that up and address those points, okay? All right, let's get into it. So when we first see Kurapika fighting, like actually using his Hatsu abilities, putting them on display, the first and best time we ever see that is against Uvogin, all the way back in York New Arc. So this is Kurapika. He's only known Nen for about 6 months, and using a plethora of conditional Nens like chained together. He's no pun intended there, he fights with chains, but him using a plethora of like life-risking conditional Nens back to back, he's made himself powerful enough to like slap Uvogin around. Uvogin stated to be the physically strongest of the Phantom Troop. There's a couple different ways you could interpret that. One way you could is if you're saying maybe if they're all fighting without Nen, Uvogin would be the winner, like out of all the Phantom Troop members. Or another way you could say that is if they're all fighting without Hatsu abilities, Uvogin would be the winner. It's one or the other, or maybe just both. But yeah, it's stated like multiple times that he has like the highest physical stats out of all the Phantom Troop members, and that's actually the reason why Kurapika chose to battle him first, because he wanted to test his abilities out on the physically strongest member to see if he'd be able to break out of the chains without aura as well. But this is where we start to see his abilities and start seeing like how broken Kurapika actually is. So at the start of the fight, Kurapika's fighting Uvogin, who's at 20%, using 20% of his power. He says that in this panel here on the left. If you look in the bottom left, this is Uvogin saying he was just fighting at 20% up till that point. But while he's fighting at 20%, he punches Kurapika. Kurapika blocks it and literally takes 0 damage. Uvogin himself is expecting that punch would have destroyed his arm, but he's like, he didn't even take damage from it. And we get some interesting dialogue here where Uvogin's saying like only an enhancer would be able to reinforce their flesh enough to block a punch from Uvogin, even at 20%, which is a pretty big claim. Like he thinks like Uvogin essentially is saying his aura and aura output is at such a high level, like only enhancers would stand a chance at being able to defend against it. But Kurapika's blocking it no problem. Then he goes into 50% and he still can't even like lay a finger on Kurapika. Kurapika's dodging everything he does and is speed blitzing him, slapping him around. It's debatable whether or not you think Kurapika's actually damaging Uvogin here, but we're seeing like he's clearly faster. He's clearly faster than Uvogin is. Even at 50%, which is pretty crazy because this is just start of series Kurapika, and there's a lot of ways that Kurapika's strength could scale way beyond this in the current chapters, but I just want to get like a good ground floor for how strong like bare minimum Kurapika is before we start scaling up higher. So yeah, he's clearly faster than 50% Uvogin to the point where Uvogin can't even hit him at all. And he's slapping him around kind of like a fodder character. Then Uvogin goes 100%. This is 100% Uvogin here. Like after this panel, Kurapika makes fun of him again. Then he says, all right, I'm going 100%. And he makes a smoke screen before attacking Kurapika, uses Ian to hide his presence, and then tries to punch Kurapika through the smoke screen. And Kurapika still reacts to it. Like, that's what you see here in the left-hand panel at the very bottom. You see Kurapika turning around in time to block this attack. And this is 100% power Uvogin hitting Kurapika with a sneak Big Bang impact, okay? So it's just like as strong as Uvogin can get, essentially. And Kurapika's blocking it with one arm. It shatters the bones in his arm, though. But Uvogin has this dialogue on the right where he says that he just hit him with Big Bang impact at full power. And then he also has another line of dialogue saying, you were quick to react, I'll give you that. Showing him that like he's reacting to this sneak attack 100% Uvogin. So like, honestly, you could make an argument that Kurapika is still relative in reaction speed to even 100% Uvogin. I honestly think he just straight up is. Like, because if not, why did Uvogin like create a smoke screen first? You know, if Uvogin was fast enough to blitz Kurapika using 100%, what was the point of the smoke screen? You know, like he could have just, if he was really like superior to him in speed, like he could have just blitzed behind him and smacked him the same way Kurapika was doing to the 50% version of him. But that's not what happened. He went out of his way to make a smoke screen first, and Kurapika still reacted to it and blocked it at the very last moment. So that says a lot about Kurapika's reaction speed, even at the very beginning of the series, after just learning the basics of Nen. Also, Kurapika has a line of dialogue. Here's something I've seen people say. Some people say that they think Kurapika learned like everything that Gon and Killua learned in Greed Island. People think that Kurapika learned that all in 6 months, but I actually don't think so. I don't think Kurapika knows Ken yet, and I don't think he knows Ryu yet either. Because he straight up, like, Gon asks him, what did you learn? And he says, oh, I just learned the same thing you guys learned. I learned the basics. I learned Ten, Ren, and Gyo. And Zetsu. And then I just learned these Hatsus on my own. So The reason I'm saying that is because there's a real chance Kurapika gets way stronger than this over the rest of the series, but we'll talk about that later. Then we get, well, here, I'll show you this panel first. This is like after Kurapika gets hit by the Big Bang Impact, he just immediately regenerates from it. This is him using enhancement-based healing. Also, this is something Gon never learns in the series, which is actually really crazy. What is it? Someone said, oh, Chexy, you said, isn't he an Emperor Time the entire fight? Yes, yeah, he's using Emperor Time the entire fight. And this is actually giving us details about how Emperor Time works. So Emperor Time, this is a Hatsu ability he gains when his eyes turn scarlet. So when his eyes turn scarlet, he becomes a specialist, and he can use 100%. He can utilize 100% of all Nen types, and that's just absurdly broken. And it explains why he's able to pull off feats like this at the start of the battle. That are surprising Uvogen, where Uvogen's like, what? Only an enhancer would be able to block an attack like that. And Kurapika's not an enhancer. How's he able to do it? It's because like his stats are all buffed massively when he's using Emperor Time. Not only does he get the 100%, the ability to utilize 100% of all Nen types, but his master, in the top right hand panel here, his master says that his aura looks bigger while he's in Emperor Time as well. So it's like he's getting a boost to his overall aura or aura output, one or the other, or maybe both. And then on top of that, he can utilize 100% of all Nen types in this form as well. There is a bit of debate over this. I've seen some people in the community debate, like, does he get this boost no matter who he fights? And the answer appears to be yes. This is like the specialist ability directly from his eyes. And the only thing that's limited to the Phantom Troop is the ability Chain Jail. And he has dialogue like speaking directly about that. This is him saying it right here on the left-hand panel. He says the Chain Jail, it's an ability that strips captured spiders of their freedom and enforces them on Zetsu. And then he goes more in detail about it when he's talking to Gon, Killua, and Leorio. Because, like, at first, like, so here's why, like, a lot of the community gets, like, confused about it. It's because in the intro chapters, where, like, it's about, if you look on the right-hand panel here, this is chapter 108. Kurapika gives a lying explanation first, and then Gon catches him in the lie, and then he gives the truthful explanation. But it seems like a lot of the fandom, like, gets confused by the first lie. Like, the first lie Kurapika says is, like, I can only use my chains on the spiders. But then Gon, immediately after, he asks him, he's like, okay, but like you have a like chain jail. No, you have a, what is it? Judgment chain in your heart as well. Like, how are you able to do that? Because Leorio's saying, like, well, here, let me simplify it a little bit. The whole scene, the way the whole scene went down is, Gon was asking Kurapika, can you use Judgment Chain on me? Before we go on this mission. And then Leorio's like, bro, are you dumb? If Kurapika uses its Hatsu on anyone that's not a spider, Kurapika's going to die. And then Gon's like, well, if that's the case, then why does Kurapika, like, have Judgment Chain placed on himself as well? Like, Kurapika's not a spider. Then they go into more detail, and then this is where Kurapika gives, like, a full explanation of how all of his Hatsus actually work, okay? So on the left-hand panel, this is him saying, yes, I can use Judgment Chain on you. He has 5 different chains. 2 of them are the ones he uses against the troop. Okay. And then on the right hand panel, here's him going more in detail. The Chain Jail, that's like the chain on his middle finger. That is the one specifically for the troop members. And it forces them into Zetsu. It's a pretty broken ability. If you're a Phantom Troop member and you get hit by that, that's like this, what he, if you look in this panel with Uvogen's wrapped in a chain. That is Chain Jail. If spiders are wrapped in it, they can't use Hatsu or Nen, and they're just cooked. Okay, that one he can only use on them. Then Judgment Chain, this is actually, in my opinion, his strongest move that he has. Judgment Chain is he stabs you in the heart with his chain, and if you break the rule, you die. And he also put that on himself. Like, this is just one of the conditions that makes his Nen really powerful, because with Nen, the more you risk, the like stronger you get. And this is him going in detail about how Judgment Chain works. Okay, so in the left-hand panel, he says chain jail only works on spiders, but the judgment chain can be used on others if he wants to. But he has to be in Emperor time to do it, which isn't a big deal because pretty much every fight that he's in, he's using Emperor time anyway. Okay, so that's like how Kurapika's abilities really work. Like the only thing limited to the spiders is chain jail, but judgment chain can be used on anyone. And judgment chain also, like he can technically use it to seal your Nen as well. That's what he does against Chrollo. Against Chrollo, he stabbed him in the heart, and then he placed a condition where he said, like, if you use Nen again, you die. So it's like, if Kurapika hits you with Judgment Chain, you're just done. If he hits you with Judgment Chain, you're just done. It's like, he can hit you with Judgment Chain and then say, like, look, don't use Nen again or you're cooked. And then that's it. That really is just a one-shot ability. So it's like, if you're hit by it, you just straight up lose, okay? But during the debate portion, I'm open to debating with you guys if you think, like, he only becomes a specialist when he's fighting the Phantom Troop. But it does not seem to be the case. Like, he says it right here as well. He says, when my eyes turn scarlet, I become a specialist, and I can use whatever abilities I've learned to full effect. It just seems to be like how it... Also, when he's with his master here, he's not, like, facing a Phantom Troop member when he's training with his master, and his master's still saying, like, your eyes are scarlet, let's try the water divination again. So, I mean, this is showing you over and over that, like, when his eyes turn scarlet, he becomes a specialist, and he gains access to all of these different Nen types. But I have seen some people debate. They're like, okay, what if he becomes a specialist, but he can only use Emperor time against the spiders? But it doesn't seem to be the case. Like, he's using Emperor time, like, all throughout the Succession War too. Phantom Wait, thank you for the donation, bro. I appreciate it a lot. He said, gotta go, just dropping in during my break, Lilo. How much for a best girl in Hunter stream? Bro, I don't know. Thank you for the donation. I don't know if I'll ever do that. I don't know, man. It'd have to be a pretty compelling donation, to be honest. But yeah, that's a pretty good, like, baseline explanation of the beginning of his powers. Then in the Succession War, we get to see what some of his other chains do. Oh, here's another thing, by the way. When he's explaining Judgment Chain to Gon, Killua, and Leorio, Killua asks him, can you make 3 Judgment Chains at once? And Kurapika's like, yeah, I can. So he can create multiple Judgment Chains at the same time, which is pretty nuts. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention really quick. If you read the left-hand panel, this is like a strategy Kurapika uses that makes him very dangerous. So he starts each fight with some real chains, like, exposed. And, like, so he has a pair of real chains that he uses to trick the enemy, and then he conjures chains and makes them invisible. So the only way you can, like, see his Hatsu attacks coming is if you're using Gyo while you fight him. But, like, the reason this is tricky is because he's carrying real chains and using attacks with them, and it makes people think he's a manipulator. Okay, it makes people think he's a manipulator. And then, like, it makes his enemies only dodge the visible chains. Because, like, Kurapika's so strong with Emperor Time that, like, he can put enough aura into these real chains that people think he's a manipulator that's, like, manipulating the chains. But that's really just his Emperor Time ability. That's more evidence, by the way, that Emperor Time works on everybody. It seems to just be, like, Emperor Time is what his Scarlet Eyes do for him. Anyways, this is a tricky ability because it's like he's smacking people with real visible chains and they think that he's just manipulating them and he's a manipulator. But really, he's a specialist who has invisible chains, and if he hits you with his invisible chains, you're just one shot. So that's actually how he beats Uvogin as well. It's a pretty crazy combination, just like big IQ strat. Okay. Now let's go into his Succession War powers, the stuff he shows in the Succession War. So in the Succession War, he reveals like two of the other abilities he has. One of them is called Thieving Index. Oh, no, it's called Steel Chain. My bad. It's called Steel Chain. So Steel Chain, it lets him steal people's Hatsu abilities and use them for himself. This is him doing that. Like, he steals this dude's Hatsu ability and uses it for himself. So, like, against someone like Killua, for example, this is a really dangerous move. Like, a lot of people say, like, Godspeed is Killua's win condition, but, like, if Kurapika steals Killua's Hatsu ability, like, Killua's not going to have Godspeed anymore. But, the other thing, though, is, like, Kurapika probably can't use Killua's Hatsu abilities because Kurapika doesn't have the, like, pain resistance immunity to lightning training stuff. Like, essentially, the reason why Killua can use lightning Hatsu is because he went through torture training as a child. Kurapika hasn't been through that, to our knowledge, so he could steal Killua's Hatsus, but he wouldn't be able to use them in this case. But... or maybe he could, and he'll just take damage from it too. Like imagine Kurapika trying to use Godspeed. Like, what would actually happen to him? I don't really know. Maybe he could use it for a brief second. I don't know. That's a debatable thing too. But anyway, talking about how Steel Chain works, it's pretty broken because he steals your aura and your Hatsu ability at the same time. And he states here in the upper right-hand panel that, like, when he hits you with this ability and drains all your aura, it puts you into a state similar to Zetsu, and he gets your Hatsu at the same time. So, like, if he hits you with this, you have no aura to defend yourself, no Hatsu ability, and you're just cooked. We also see him do it against one of these bodyguards for Prince Benjamin. So Prince Benjamin's bodyguard, we don't know exactly how powerful he was, but Kurapika pretty much low diffs him. And he's one of Benjamin's trusted bodyguards, so he should be pretty powerful because some of the other bodyguards like know how to use N, something that Gon and Killua still haven't even learned. So this dude might have been pretty strong, but he just gets absolutely low diffed by Kurapika. The moment the fight starts, this dude tries to shoot them with guns, and then this dude blocks it with his aura in the right-hand panel. And then this bodyguard, he tries to shoot his Hatsu ability. This paneling, by the way, it somewhat implies that he thought his Hatsu ability would be stronger than the bullets were because he sees this dude block bullets and then it's like, all right, well, my Hatsu ability might work. Anyways, right, like, as he's firing his Hatsu ability, he realizes he can't because Kurapika's already drained his aura with the Steel Chain. So it's like, it really doesn't take him a long time to steal aura with Steel Chain. And he might have fallen for the same trick that Uvogin did, saw Kurapika with like some actual chains, didn't expect to be hit by this ability, and then was just literally auraless and Hatsu-less. And another thing Kurapika can do is his Dolphin Chain lets him give the stolen ability to another person, and then he can steal a second ability. So that also makes Kurapika like a really strong support character. That was something I was mentioning when I was talking about like how Kurapika versus the Royal Guard could go. Like if he's there with the Zodiac, he could steal multiple Royal Guards Hatsus and just give them to other people and stuff. But anyway, that's not really important in Kurapika versus Killua. This is just a pretty crazy thing he's doing here. Okay, he steals his Hatsu in like you can count the panels. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So he steals his Hatsu within like 4 panels, bro. Maybe like 3. Which is pretty nuts. And yeah, now we can just briefly talk about like that's a pretty good rundown of all of Kurapika's abilities. He has the Steel Chain to steal your powers. He can give your powers to someone else and then steal a second one. He can hit you with a Judgment Chain, which is just a one-shot ability. If you're hit with that, you're just actually done. You lose automatically. Then he has Emperor Time, which gives him 100%. What was the exact terms he used? He becomes a specialist in Emperor Time and can utilize 100% of all Nen types. And is like, even the start of a Phantom Troop arc, he's strong enough to speed blitz and slap around 50% Uvogin. He's not even getting touched like one time in the fight. And then he might even be relative in speed, reaction speed at least, to 100% Uvogin, even back in York New City. Just implied by the fact that like Uvogen created a smoke screen at 100% and Kurapika still reacted to it, and he's strong enough to survive Big Bang Impact. So like the odds of you one-shotting Kurapika are about 0. And then he has Healing Chain. If you do manage to somehow get past all of that, he has Healing Chain and can heal himself and just keep fighting right after that. Okay, and and he can make multiple Judgment Chains at once. Okay, now we can just briefly talk about how much stronger did Kurapika get from York New City to right now. We see in York New City, Kurapika's... Okay, let me word it like this. At the end of York New City, Kurapika tells Gon that he just learned the basics, and then he, like, learned these Hatsu abilities on his own. So he learned, like, Ten, Ren, Gyo, and Zetsu. And then he, like, learned these conditional Nens on his own, right? But when we get to the Succession War arc, he's, like, doing a lot of, like, finesse-based things with his aura. Like this here, like creating numbers out of his aura. This is like the same thing that Gon did as part of his transmuter training, I believe. Like he does this training with Bisky. But Kurapika does this like smoothly and easily. Gon struggled with this training, at least in the beginning, but Kurapika's doing this smoothly and easily, which kind of implies like his skill with Nen is like at least somewhat relative to Greed Island Gon's. And like, hold on, and he might be in just normal. I don't even think he's using Emperor Time in this scene here. So like, this is legit just like base form Kurapika able to like easily do a transmission technique. And I think Conjurers have 80% efficiency in transmission, I think. So he's skilled enough to do something that's not even in his max category pretty smoothly and easily. And then we also see like he's a mafia boss, and he hires like his old Nen Master. He's hiring his old Nen Master as an employee, and he's hiring Killua's Nen Master Bisky as an employee too. I'm not saying that automatically makes him stronger than these people, but that is just kind of a crazy thing to say. On top of that, he's been like, I think I said it earlier, but he's become a mafia boss, and we have no idea like how many crazy things he had to do to reach that position in such a short time. Another thing that should be stated about him is like when Mesostome, the Zodiac member Mesostome, sees him, the first thing he says about Kurapika is like, this guy has seen a lot of carnage. So like Kurapika's been fighting a lot of battles like over it's been about like from the last time we saw him in York New till the Succession War. That's about 1.5 years worth of time in the series, because it's like the entire time of Greed Island plus the entire time of Chimera Ant arc plus the entire election arc. All that time, Kurapika was just out there grinding, getting back the Scarlet Eyes, battling a bunch of people. So yeah, we don't know exactly how much stronger he got from then till now, but he should have gotten some degree stronger. And then here's other ways you can like scale him up pretty high. If you just say he learned Ken and Ryu on top of everything he displayed in York New City, Ken is shown to be like many to dozens of times stronger than normal 10 is. And that's shown in the fight with Gon versus Knuckle, where Gon like is fighting Knuckle, and he says if he didn't use Ken, Knuckle would have one-shot him. But since he was using Ken, he was able to take like dozens of attacks from Knuckle and keep fighting. We also see that Ko is stated by Bisky. That's an ability that can make you dozens of times stronger as well. So yeah, we don't know for certain if Kurapika can use Ken and Ryu and Ko, but I think he can. There's some things that imply that he can. And if that's the case, he's like magnitude stronger than he already was in York New City, plus has all these hacks. So, but all right, so that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for Kurapika. My stance on the debate is like, it's pretty much the same stance I had in the video. Kurapika and Killua both have win conditions over each other, but in a fair Nen battle where neither of them know each other's abilities, I lean slightly more towards Kurapika winning, but it's open for debate. So, yeah, we can get into the debate portion now, unless there's any questions before I get started. It doesn't look like it. So, yeah, we can get into the debate portion. Let me go ahead and open up the debate. So, real quick, I'll show you guys, for everybody who's in the chat, if you want to join the debate, here's how you do it. I'll show you one more time here. So let's say you go to my YouTube channel, and then you click on posts, and then you scroll down to this Kurapika versus Killua poll. You click on the comments, and then you click on this pinned comment right here, and then that takes you to where we're having the debates. And I'm gonna be in one of the I myself will be in one of the Discord voice chat channels. So just whichever one I'm in, just hop in that one too, and then you can debate me on this topic. I think the most debatable thing is does Kurapika get the same stat boost like Emperor Time? Can he use Emperor Time against everyone? It seems like yes. Like because he never once says that he can't. And we also just literally see him using Emperor Time in the Succession War. But I have seen some people like debate that idea. So if you want to debate that idea too, you can. Just whatever you want to debate. As long, you know, well, the debate is Kurapika versus Killua, but this is a debate I've been wanting to have for a while. So I think this should be a pretty fun one. So here, I'll max screen this. And let me get the Discord open. Just give me 1 second. All right, I'm opening Discord here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. So I'm in debate voice chat number 1. Like this. Yeah, so I'm in debate voice chat number 1. So if anyone wants to hop in this debate, feel free, and we can have this discussion. And while I'm waiting for people to hop in, I'll start reading the chat here. Okay, we're getting some people. What's up, you guys? How's everybody doing?
Chilling.
That's dope. That's dope. Here, just 1 second here. I'm just scrolling through to see if I missed any super chats. Nope, I think we're good. Okay. So yeah, you guys wanted to debate Kurapika versus Killua?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Would anyone else want to go first, or? You can go first.
Okay, sick. So, yeah, you can go first, Moss Head. Here, what we'll just do like 1v1 debates, and I think we can do like 12 minutes. So, like, I'm just getting a stopwatch. Let me set this. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, so who do you think would win between Kurapika and Killua?
I actually think Killua would win. So originally I thought that Kurapika would probably win because of the chains that he has, but the way that Killua's Nen ability works is that it auto reacts to like anything that enters like the presence. Like I think it was when he was fighting that sniper guy at Calgo that took over.
Mm-hmm.
They explained it that it auto reacts to any like Nen or any object that enters like that location. So I think it would auto react to his invisible chains, and he wouldn't be able to hit Killua really, even with his Emperor Time stat boost.
That's a good point. So you're saying like even if Killua can't see the chain, he'll still just dodge it?
Yeah.
There is a chance of that. So like the way I kind of visualize the fight would go in my mind, if they're fighting like Emperor Time Kurapika versus like base form Killua, then Kurapika has like a list of abilities that would just one shot and end the fight. So I think he.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I think only like it's debatable if he's in Godspeed. Like I think Kurapika shits on base Killua with fucking Emperor Time.
Yeah, I do too. Just because I don't think anything in Killua's arsenal is as strong as Big Bang Impact. And like just the feats he was pulling off even in York New were so insane, and then you stack like a year and a half of grinding on top, he's just like crazy. But yeah, so Godspeed is like Killua's win condition. Now when it goes into Godspeed, the question becomes like, is Killua strong enough to kill Kurapika while he's in Godspeed?
I think if he like stunned him a few times with like the lightning and just like started beating the shit out of him, like what he did with to Yuppie, I don't think Kurapika's eating that, yo.
Yeah, it is.
Because
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
His durability, like while it is good with him taking the Big Bang Impact, it's not like he like took no damage. Like they're like aura could still be like what is it? Like on the same level. Like I don't think Kurapika has like way more aura than Killua, like something like Yuppie, where like he was just doing no damage and only like lived because he was stunning him. Kurapika needs to like heal from a big attack for his durability to like really be good.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. Well, we saw that like Uvogin at 20% like couldn't even hurt Kurapika. Do you think like Killua was above 20% Uvogin?
Yeah, 20%. Yeah, I think he's above with like Godspeed amping him.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at the end of the day, we're kind of just guessing, but I do think he is above 20% Uvogin. 50% is where it gets debatable, though.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, I was also thinking like around 50%. Like it's like kind of like a toss up, I'd say, with like AP.
Yeah,
because it's just an enhancer ability. Enhancers just have like the highest AP possible.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when Uvogin goes 50%, he doesn't even land, like, a single attack on Kurapika. He's just getting, like, slapped around and dusted. So we don't really know, like, if Kurapika would have just blocked that with no damage either. So, but that was also, like, way back in Yorknu. If Kurapika, like, just learned Ken and Ryu on top, like, he most likely could just, like, block 50% Uvogin the same way he blocked 20%, because like Ken on its own can make you like dozens of times stronger, well more durable at least. But
yeah, I don't think Ken would really work on Killua because you have to focus all your aura and it's too fast for that.
So like I guess like it comes down to, can Kurapika survive a Godspeed blitz? Because he's not gonna react to Godspeed. Godspeed would just like slap him around until Godspeed runs out. So it pretty much comes down to, like, could Kurapika survive the same onslaught that he hit Yuppie with? I personally...
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead.
I was going to say I lean towards thinking he could. And then it's like, Kurapika just needs to land one attack and he wins after that. Like, he just needs to land Judgment Chain, and he wins. But,
okay, I was gonna say that I don't think that he could, but I think like, cause I was thinking about like the invisible chains, right? That was like my thought on like the win con for Kurapika, but like he could probably like set up like some type of like chain to like try and like hit him, like right before the blitz starts. You know what I mean?
Or you could do it like after the blitz as well, or even during it probably.
Yeah, maybe.
So Masad, you're saying like, sorry, could you say that again? You're saying like Kurapika would do what?
I think he would like try to set up like a trap, like a chain, like because originally I was thinking like, oh, he would like use an invisible chain that Killua can't see, but like his Nen would auto react. So like I think if like he had to like. I think Kurapika would try to set up something before like the Godspeed Blitz would happen. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're saying you think that Kurapika would do that before Godspeed happened?
Like just some type of like I feel like it's in character for him to have like some type of chain set up, because like the way that he fights against like Uvogin, he's basically like the whole time he's like bringing attention to like his visible chains, and then having like the sneak attack invisible one. So I think he would try to do like some type of the same thing, but Killua would auto react to the invisible chain.
Yeah, and then we also have to think like, how fast would Killua go into Godspeed? Because like, if they start fighting, do you think Killua's just going straight into Godspeed as soon as they start boxing? Like, because if he doesn't, then I think Kurapika just kind of wins right away.
I don't see him going into it. I mean, I see him like maybe using some like electricity attacks at first, but I don't really see him going into Godspeed right off the bat.
And
I see him. Like,
just one second,
like
just 1 second, guys. We are just doing 1v1s. So like Chexy, we'll go a little bit later, but I just want Mosshead to get his full 12 minutes in first.
That's okay. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. What were you saying, bro?
Yeah, I kind of agree with what he was saying though. I feel like Killua would like throw some like lightning bolts, you know, kind of stall for a bit, like try to see what like Kurapika is doing, and then I feel like when Kurapika goes into Emperor time, like I feel like he would pop it.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen with Kurapika, he goes into Emperor time like as soon as fights start. Like pretty much every fight he's ever had, he was in Emperor time. I
mean, because otherwise he doesn't have to like Dolphin Chain Judgment or like thing.
Yeah, so I mean, like if we're just saying like who's the stronger character, like Kurapika with no Emperor time versus base Killua would like slam him. If it's Kurapika with Emperor time versus base Killua, I lean towards Kurapika winning that. And then when it's Godspeed has the upper hand and it's just going to be blitzing him. But if Killua, so it comes down to this, it's like if Killua can't kill Kurapika with one Godspeed onslaught, I think he just loses right after, because like all Kurapika has to do after that is land either either the Steel Chain or Judgment Chain, and he just wins. So he has like 2 one-shot abilities.
Yeah, I can't deny that, really.
Oh, I got a super chat real quick from Professor Fiction. Professor Fiction, what's up, bro? Thank you for the donation. He just said, "What's good?" Thank you, man. I'm doing pretty good, man. Thank you. But yeah, so it is kind of just an unknown if Kurapika could withstand the onslaught, but I lean towards thinking that he could, because like let's say, do you think Godspeed would kill 50% Uvogen? Oh, hello.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Hold
on. Oh, no worries, no worries. Because I mean, like,
probably not.
Because something I had said in my video that like a lot of people disagreed with. I was saying like we see Kurapika even back in York New City is like somewhat relative to 50% Uvogen already. Then if he just learns Ken, which makes you dozens of times more durable, he could be like, he could have defenses on par with just normal Uvogen now. And like I actually said, like, if you highballed it, you could say he's like has even more defense than Uvogen, and people really didn't like that. But it seems like that would be possible, you know, because we saw with Ken Gon using Ken against Knuckle. He said without Ken I would have gotten one punched, but with Ken he took like dozens of hits from Knuckle. So like it shows you that Ken is a very big buff to your defense, like more than normal 10 is. And we're seeing like Kurapika do this, and he says he doesn't know like Ken yet, or he wasn't taught it yet in York New. And we don't know if he knows Ken now, but I lean towards thinking he does, just based off of him like performing like finesse based transmuter skill stuff, like just making numbers out of Nen. That was like a transmuter training thing Gon and Killua would do, and I think they do that after learning Ken, but like we can't really prove if Kurapika knows it or not. So
I think I have a good win for Killua. What if? Sorry, what?
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying, yeah. What is it? What is it?
So you could just have Killua do like a toe attack with like his what is it? You know the bullshit that he does with his fingers.
The like lightning bolt thing.
No, where he modifies his fingers.
Oh yeah, talking about? Yeah, where he like makes his fingers like knives, kind of.
Yeah. So what if he just does that and does like a co attack on Kurapika in Godspeed?
Yeah, I guess I could do something. It's kind of hard to say because it's like, so here's the thing.
Wait, does Killua have Ko? Is that?
Yeah. Gon and Killua both learned it in Greed Island.
Okay. Pretty sure. Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like my counter to that is like, because people think like Kurapika can one-shot people with like relative or higher stats to him, but he like never does though. Cause like he didn't do that to Yuppie. But Yuppie's stats are way higher, but like something I think is like he had Yuppie paralyzed with lightning, right? Like why didn't he try it then? Why didn't he just like try to stab him then after like hitting him with a lightning bolt there?
Well, that's just because of how high like Killua, he wasn't like trying to really damage Yuppie. I don't like he was kind of just like stalling him while APR ticked up.
I don't know. I viewed it as he was giving his all to like cook Yuppie, but just couldn't do any real damage. And it's like, but oh, go ahead.
Way
Sorry.
too high. His aura was just way too hot. No matter what, like Killua would have been like, Killua could have. This could be like, fucking Killua with like a binding vow, or some shit, right? And it still would do like no damage to Yuppie with how different their aura sizes are.
That's probably true. Yeah. And you're saying and like Kurapika would be a lot closer. So you're saying could like a Ko in Godspeed one shot him? It might be able to. It's kind of hard to say because I mean we haven't seen what lightning does to normal human beings like with their Nen defense up. Like Hunter x Hunter just didn't go on long enough for us to be able to see that. So that's kind of the problem.
I was somewhat stunned.
And also, another thing I think is, like, we never saw him use Ko in Godspeed. Can he do both? Like, he probably can, but I'm just thinking...
Actually, that might be debatable that he can't do it because Godspeed's, like, an amping ability with his Nen. So he's kind of, like, spreading it out around his body.
True, yeah. Because, I mean, that is what he's doing. He's, like, turning all the aura, like, in him into just lightning, right?
I actually do that.
Maybe he could though. Like I think that could be a win condition. Like he might be able to do that if he can use Ko and Godspeed at the same time. Yeah, maybe he could kill Kurapika then, but it's still kind of debatable just because like we don't know how high Kurapika's defense is now. Like, well, would that kill 50% Uvogen? It might. Maybe.
I'm just the reason why I really brought it up is because of the piercing damage. You know, like the slashing damage from his fingers.
The piercing Nen. What is that?
No, just like the fact that it's like sharp.
Oh yeah,
like a blunt force.
Yeah, I mean, but we do see like Uvogen's able to just like someone tries to stab him with a sword and it just breaks off of his stomach, like.
Yeah, but it was like.
Oh, hello.
Wasn't it?
It went silent.
Who was the person that stabbed him? I'm pretty sure it was just like some fodder who didn't even know.
Yeah, it was one of the like bodyguards working with Kurapika. But anyways, dude.
They did, didn't they?
Sorry, you broke up. What was that?
They did have Nen though, didn't they? The bodyguard, like most of them had Nen.
I think they all did, but I'd actually have to double check that. But yeah, dude, that was about 15 minutes. So is there any like closing points you wanted to say before like we let the next person go?
Nah, I think it's just like it's pretty close, pretty debatable. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you made good points. You made good points, man. Sorry, I cut you off there a little bit. What were you saying? Sorry.
Nah, I pretty much said everything.
Okay, sick. Well, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, dude.
Oh, yo, I got an important power scaling question. So, like, what if you get Momo another cat so they can do Ryu sparring? How powerful?
She'd probably be stronger than Merwin, bro. But that is a good question. But all right, so who is next? Who wants to go next?
Can I go next?
Oh yeah, sure. So let me start this timer over. Okay, how's it going, man?
Going good.
That's good, dude. So
yeah.
What who do you think would win?
I think Kurapika would win. Like, I'm pretty certain that. I feel like mostly due to Emperor time. Yeah. Also, I guess I'll start with Killua first. When he was going against Yuppie, I'm pretty sure Godspeed only lasted like 10 seconds, right? Pretty sure he hit Yuppie with a Thunderbolt and then started like tagging on him, and that lasted 10 seconds, and they needed to recharge. Am I right about that?
It was very short. Maybe we could find the actual timestamps in the manga, because the manga like gives you actual timestamps for how long the invasion was going. I'll look and see if I could find it, but yeah, you can keep sharing your point. I'm just gonna look for it and see if I can find it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I feel like Kurapika and Emperor Time would be able to tank at least like 10 seconds of Godspeed, even if he is stunned and if he does like take some damage. I don't think it would kill him. Or I don't think it would do any like lasting damage. Also, like narratively, like after the Chimera Ant arc, you had like when Killua was like getting Aluka and all of that, Silva freaking sent Tsubone is like, oh yeah, Tsubone is like fine to take care of Killua and bring him back. Like this fodder ass bodyguard. And like narratively, they have like Tsubone like over Killua, and Killua's like kind of like scared of her. I'm gonna be honest, it didn't make that much sense to me, but even going off of it narratively, I think Godspeed's a little bit overhyped.
I honestly do agree with that. The main reason I agree with that is just because like the entire story of Hunter x Hunter has been pretty balanced, and something that's said by like Chrollo during the Hisoka versus Chrollo fight is that like every Hatsu ability has strengths and weaknesses. But like a lot of people tend to look at how cool Godspeed is and like how powerful it looks and just assume it has zero weaknesses, but it does seem to have some, especially when you consider like without Godspeed, Kurapika, I mean, Killua just like a few chapters before learning it was getting like low diffed by Bisky. The idea of him just learning one Hatsu ability and like automatically skyrocketing to like the top of the verse and everything doesn't really make a lot of narrative sense to me. I think
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's just like the same way that Rock gives Gon like high tier attack power. I think Godspeed gives Killua high tier speed. That's kind of how I view it. But but yeah, you were making some good points. You were saying like the Zoldyck family, they knew about Godspeed and they still thought Tsubone could handle him.
Yeah. So Silva knew about Godspeed, but still thought Tsubone was fine to go and handle Killua and bring him back.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't think Tsubone's like top of the verse here. Like, I don't think Tsubone's winning against Kurapika or like doing much against like most people.
Yeah, I think I think
narratively, yeah.
I think Tsubone is just like stronger than Goto, but would probably still lose against Hisoka. Oh wait, I got a quick super chat. I'll pause the timer. I got a super chat from Professor Fiction. Professor Fiction, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. He said he doesn't have to just survive Godspeed. He still has to fight base Killua with those injuries from Godspeed. That's a very good point too. And I would just say like, yes, he'll be injured from Godspeed, but all he has to do is land one attack. He just has to land either Judgment Chain or Steel Chain, and then he wins. Because Steel Chain like would drain Killua of his aura to the point where he can't like defend himself anymore, and Kurapika would one shot, and then
not to mention he could just stay in Emperor Time. His time limit for that is like I think 3 hours or something.
True. Yeah, his Emperor Time lasts way longer than Godspeed does.
Than Godspeed.
Because the debate really does just come down to like, do you think Kurapika could tank a whole Godspeed duration? I would put it like this, like, here's my stance on it. If Godspeed did not have the lightning element, I do think Kurapika can just tank the whole thing. The lightning is what like makes it debatable, because I just don't think like Killua's stats are like on par with Uvogin's. And I think
problem is just the time limit and the fact that we didn't see Godspeed do any damage to UB. If like UP took like some kind of damage, maybe I could say that yeah, it might be able to cook Kurapika. But the fact that all it did was just stun him, like I don't see it. And the fact that I don't think it lasted that long either when he was fighting for that to recharge. And I don't think Killua stands a chance against like base to base against even Kurapika, let alone in Emperor time. So I just don't see it happening. And I also know some people are saying like in the manga that Emperor time got another buff through like the condition of it takes like years off his life, but I don't know if that was always there from the beginning or if that was like another restriction he put on top to make it even stronger. I'm not sure what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth on that. Like, there was a time where I thought it was an additional buff because he does have like some dialogue about it in the Succession War where he's like, I thought the additional conditions would make it easier for me to handle. And then like right after that, Kurapika's like, every 1 second of Emperor time takes an hour off his life.
Hour of his life, yeah.
So I mean, if he did just add those conditions, then I like heavily think Kurapika could survive the Godspeed onslaught. But if those conditions were always there, then like his Emperor time is probably about as strong as it was back in York New, but he would just like any strength buff on top of that would come from like him learning Ken, like him going through like similar learnings that Gon and Killua went through. And bro, I'm trying to find this Godspeed chapter. I don't remember what the chapter number was. I've been just failing this whole time trying to find it.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't remember what chapter number it was. If anyone in the chat remembers,
it's chapter 281.
It's 281.
Yeah, I'm just on it right now. I'm collecting like scans.
Okay, I'm looking at. Thank you. Okay, yeah, thanks, dude. I've been trying to find it this whole time, just like what's happening. Why can't I? Okay, so I wanted to see if there's a timestamp right before and right after it to see like exactly how long Godspeed lasts. I mean, in the manga, let's see. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 pages in the manga.
Okay.
So, and another thing, like, after using Godspeed, I think he can't use lightning at all until he charges back up. Like, I think...
Yeah, that's right. He can't use it until he charges.
I think, like... So if he uses Godspeed... Another thing that would be crazy is, like, if he uses Godspeed, he could, like, not even use Aura at all, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just lightning. I think he can still use a little bit of Aura, like... But if you survive a full Godspeed duration against Killua, like the same combo that he does to Yuppie, then I'm saying Kurapika would win from that point on, because all he has to do is land Judgment Chain. And like that tactic of like having a fake chain out would probably work on him still, I think.
Yeah.
Even if Kurapika's injured, but you also like can make a debate like, would Kurapika really be that injured? You know, like
I don't think he would.
There's
even be that injured though. There's a chance he wouldn't.
Yeah, there is a chance he wouldn't. I mean, like it's really just that's the big part of the debate. It's like, how injured would Kurapika be after a Godspeed onslaught? Like, because I think in just terms of like raw aura and like attack power, I think Kurapika's gonna outstat him with Emperor time.
I'm sure with like full Ken defense, Hisoka could survive a Godspeed onslaught.
Oh, right? I do too.
So
I do too, especially since Kurapika has like bungee gum. If he like turns his Ken into bungee gum, like I don't think he's even taking lightning damage.
Yeah.
And he might just like stop Killua's attacks. Like the bungee gum might like make Killua get stuck and unable to really like hurt him. He might do some weird Hisoka stuff, but in this situation, that's like the big crux of the debate. It's like, how damaged would Kurapika be? If he's like cripplingly damaged, then I think maybe Killua would not get hit by Judgment Chain then. But if he's like even at 50%, I think Judgment Chain's gonna land.
for sure.
But that is the debatable part, though.
And also, like, Killua is usually gassed after using Godspeed, so you could even just say he just uses Stealth Dolphin and just puts him straight into Zatsu, and then he's cooked.
True, because like Killua's win condition, he has to use Godspeed right away, and it has to beat Kurapika pretty badly. If it doesn't, then I'm leaning towards Kurapika winning, like, because I mean, like, if we're talking about just base Killua versus Kurapika in Emperor Time, like, base Killua was getting boxed by Palm. So, like...
Yeah, that doesn't look great.
Yeah, that's kind of, like, around the limits of where he's at. Is, like, somewhere around Palm level in base.
And I don't think Palm was showing anything even close to, like, Ubogen.
Yeah,
like,
I don't...
Big Bang Impact or anything like that.
I agree with that, too. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of like the upper limits of his strength there. Like, I think if it's base Killua, his best bet is like trying to hit him with a lightning bolt, but even the lightning bolt like takes some time to charge up. Like, we've never actually seen Killua hit someone with a lightning bolt in a 1v1. It's always like he's fighting someone else. Like against Ramot, Ramot was like boxing Gon. Yeah. And then Yuppie was fighting Knuckle. So it takes a little bit of time to charge up, and I don't think Kurapika would just, like, stand there and let him do that.
Plus, I think the Thunderbolt's, like, better just for stunning anyway, for combos, like what he did with Gon with Ramot anyway. So I don't think it would do, like, crazy damage, probably just stun him for a bit.
Yeah, I wish we got to see, like, Killua just fight more people other than the Royal Guards with this. Just to see, like, how does, like, lightning interact with Nen defense? We didn't get to see enough on that, but
yeah,
and also another thing is, like, is Killua's lightning actually as powerful as, like, a real lightning bolt and stuff like that? I don't really think it is, but I don't know, that's a debatable thing too. It might be
I don't think so, just because you're transmitting your aura into it. So I think it'd just be as strong as your Nen is, basically.
I mean,
I don't think it goes 1-to-1.
I mean, it has, like, the properties of lightning, but, like, lightning can be in, like, varying voltages. Like if someone gets shocked by, like, a wire, because he's getting his lightning from, like, wires in the ground, right? So, like,
yeah, the
electricity from wires in the ground is on a much, like, lower voltage than, like, a lightning bolt from the sky. So it's like, how exactly potent is that lightning? That's kind of like another debate on its own. I mean, another thing we saw against Gentharu's minion, he hits him with the lightning palm, and it just, like, stuns him for a few seconds. It does, like, no damage though.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like, every case we've seen with Killua using lightning, it just does a stun, but doesn't really do any lasting damage.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate.
That's true. I mean, one counter to that, though, is, this is, like, a point maybe someone who's, like, defending Killua can, like, build on this point, is, against, like, that fraction of Poof's clone that he fought, he hits him with that lightning bolt that, like, burns Poof's, like, eye. But it should be noted that's, like, a fraction of Poof, and the clones have, like, they're kind of different than, like, the base body.
Didn't he also say, like, even at full power, I wouldn't be able to catch up with him, though? Which would be, like, a point towards his, like, speed.
Yeah, it's like he has, like, Royal Guard level speed for sure.
But, like, in terms of power, it doesn't really help him, though.
Yeah, I just think, like, the best argument for, like, Godspeed's potency is what he did, like, where he burned Poof's eye. But, like, then it's like, why didn't he burn Yuppie in the same way? Because I've seen some people say they think Killua could do that to anyone, but I don't know. I think there's some counters to that. Like, for example, at that point, like, Yuppie, who also gave the same amount of his aura to Meruem, he was so weak that even Welfin, that, like, wolf Chimera ant, squared up with him. So they were, like, much weaker than they normally were, and them being poisoned, I think, weakened them too.
For sure.
But yeah, that was like a full 15 minutes. Is there any like closing points you wanted to say?
I guess just for closing points, I just think Kurapika wins, especially if you think Emperor Time got like a buff in like the later arcs, like with it taking like years off his life or whatever. And yeah, I just don't think Godspeed would do much. I guess that's it.
Well, those are good points, man. Okay, so who would want to go next?
Yo, can I go next?
Oh, sure, bro. How's it going, Ashura?
Yo, everything's going alright, other than the fact that it's 3 a.m. and I have 2 assignments due tomorrow, but fuck it, we ball.
Oh, no, bro. That's late.
Nah, we ball, bro.
But, well, who do you think would win?
Oh, Kurapika slams him on his neck.
Oh, Kurapika.
Fuck Godspeed, dude.
Oh. What's your points for that?
Godspeed has a weakness that I don't know why I haven't seen a single YouTuber bring it up. Godspeed only works off of your opponent's reactions. He can preset a condition like the moment he feels negative intent from your aura, then he reacts or you come into a circle around him. He can't just fight you. If you realize this and you just don't move, sit down crisscross applesauce and look at him, Godspeed just runs out and you beat his ass afterwards.
That's a pretty good point. Like, yeah, that's a pretty good point. It does seem though like, hold on, let me look at this fight with Yuppie, because is Yuppie like trying to?
I got the choppers. Yeah, he is.
I'm trying to see, because it says I'm just looking, because it does say that it pushes his speed beyond the limits of his potential, his physical potential. So I mean, he is really fast, but like let's see here. That might be just talking about the speed of lightning running speed, which like his running speed in Godspeed actually isn't that crazy. Like it's like Chi 2 level running speed, but the real dangerous thing is the whirlwind, where it says his body oh yeah, it does. It says his body automatically. Hold on. It says whirlwind, which controlled his body automatically in response to his opponent's actions. Oh, you are right. It does say in response. Yeah. So, just thinking about it. But he was like speed blitzing Yuppie. So I think he can still speed blitz Kurapika. Like I think he's still going to be hitting Kurapika with like like Kurapika's not going to be able to dodge these attacks. But that is a pretty...
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. Sorry, continue.
Oh no, you're good. I don't think he's gonna dodge the attacks, but I don't know. I think it would kind of go like Killua versus Yuppie, where like he just hits him with an onslaught, and I just don't know if I don't know like how much strength Kurapika's gonna have left. If it's like 50% or more, then I think Kurapika wins. That's kind of how I view it. Just really quick though, I got a donation from Weary. He said, it's like a joke. He said, if you could have a normal sleep schedule, would you sleep? Nah, I'd happily. So thank you, Weary, for the donation. I appreciate it. But no, dude, that is a good point what you brought up. Like, if you don't attack Killua, then Godspeed, like, in theory, is a little slower because he's not reacting to anything.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to... there's a point. There's 2 types of Godspeed that can't be active at the same time. Godspeed Whirlwind and Speed of Lightning. When he's doing Speed of Lightning, he can control his body and run however he wants. That's the Cheeto level speed, right? But with Whirlwind, he can't move. I put it in the chat, right? When he was fighting Poof, he had to ask Poof, come at me so I can kill you. Bro can one-shot Poof. He can rip off his eyes, no problem. Yet he has to ask him to come in his range so he can actually do anything. If he could actually control his body in Whirlwind, he would just kill him right then and there. And also, he would just ignore Illumi because he would blitz them. It has to work this way, or else the plot doesn't make sense.
No, that's a really good point, man. That is a really good point. Yeah, that's something I haven't really considered.
If Kurapika has any intelligence and just figures it out after the one hit and realizes, wait, why isn't he capitalizing on his advantage? Then he's like, oh shit, he can't move. That's the price he has to pay for this immense speed. It was an ability made to stall out. It allowed Gon to get his 1v1s with P2. That's what he made it up for, so that he could stall whoever tries to interrupt the fight.
No, you're making a lot of sense, bro. Like, these are some things I hadn't thought of. I just still think, like, Killua would still speed blitz him because, like, we're seeing with Yuppie's not really attacking. He's just kind of getting blitzed. Actually,
for that too.
He kind of does look like he's attacking a little bit.
No, it's not just that. It's when you put negative intent. You don't need to attack. It's your negative active. If you want to punch him, that desire to punching him going into your aura will cause him to attack. It's like how Zeno did not put any negative intent into his dragon dive, even though he was moving. It's not negative intent. Aura can show your emotions. It's been shown in the Uvgen fight, and it has been shown in Zeno. If your emotion goes into the Nen, Godspeed will notice it, and Godspeed will allow him to instantly react.
You might be
That's
spitting.
That's the reason why he doesn't get it.
You might actually be spitting, because I'm seeing it here. He says it was previously programmed. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, you might be just right. Like, because it's talking about Whirlwind here, and they're talking about like how he used it to stop the fish dart, and he's using Whirlwind. It was a previously programmed response to the malevolent intent in the enemy aura.
Can I just make a counterpoint? If we're talking about Emperor Time Kurapika, he would always have like negative emotion because his Scarlet Eyes are active. They activate negative emotion.
But didn't he say he like he can activate it at will? Like he talked about he learned how to activate it at will, but maybe it is still just being triggered by negative emotion, though. I have to read the exact dialogue, where it says.
I can say for a fact it's not negative intent. Remember, he had to use Emperor Time to give the ability over to his guardian, to the person he's guarding. So why would he have negative intent there if he's trying to help his ward? It just wouldn't make sense.
I think like his.
Not negative intent, but emotion.
Like that he has to be like angry to use it, you're saying?
Like I'm saying like negative and or like strong emotions is what activates Emperor Time. Like it doesn't like he doesn't have to be directed at anything, but that like he would just have to like feel that like that type of emotion to like activate it.
I want to see if I can find the exact panel where he because he does have a panel where he's talking to Gon, and he goes into
emotion does affect your net no matter what anyway, so he could just have it directed.
So you think he would just hit Gon then, because Gon would have negative intent while he's fighting P2, and this is what he made the ability for. He would just hit Gon by accident then. That just wouldn't make sense. It would have to be directed at him.
Okay, yeah. That's a good point.
You might, I mean, Ashura, you do have a very good point, because I hadn't thought about that before. Maybe like that is what makes Godspeed so dangerous. Is like if someone's has malicious intent in their aura towards you while he's fighting you, that's when he's like gonna be speed blitzing you. But without that, it would just kind of
he just stand still and waste his ability. Also, to show you another ability that works like this. Remember the robot guy in that room that you can't hurt anyone in?
Robot guy in the room you can't hurt anyone in.
It's like the
that guy.
Wait, which one?
Remember
they're part of the Haley, I think, or were they part of Morena's group?
The part of Morena's group, yes. That guy whose room is completely unbeatable. When you're in his room and you attack him and he activates his ability, no matter how stronger you are than him, he just kicks the Phantom Troop out and he's one-shot fodder for them. That's how Hatsus work. if you trip their conditions, it's almost like they're unbeatable. But if you realize the conditions, oh shit, you know what? Phaeton says, oh, just make him attack you first, and the ability is worthless. It can only work in self-defense.
Tom was wrong about that. The reason why it's so strong is because it has like legal condition.
Yeah, and the legal condition is self-defense. If someone attacks you, then you can retaliate.
It's trespass. Sure is what it was.
Trespass or shit, maybe. We haven't seen them interact with it again, so I don't know if Phaeton's is right.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying I'm pretty sure it was trespassing because like the Phantom Troop are wrong and they're gonna like go in there and like get shit on again.
I can prove it. They didn't kick him out until after he attacked someone. He did not kick him out when they just came in. He wasn't able to. And he only told them to activate the ability after he got attacked.
And real quick, guys, another thing that I'm seeing here, someone in the chat said, is everyone forgetting Kurapika has a healing chain? So that's another good point too. Like, because earlier what I was saying is, I think how the fight would go is like if Killua goes into Godspeed, he's going to like just beat the sleeves off of Emperor Time Kurapika, and we don't know how much damage Kurapika would take. If Kurapika gets heavily damaged, then I think like base form Killua could win. But someone brought up a good point, like Kurapika could just heal himself back up after that and then just like cook Killua afterwards. So it's like I think Kurapika just has more versatile abilities and like has more win conditions. Like
nah,
wait, did I say Killua? I meant to say Kurapika has more versatile abilities and more win conditions than Killua does. So I think like Kurapika, if they're fighting each other and they like neither one knew their abilities, I think Kurapika would be like slightly more likely to win. But I think both of them have ways they could beat each other. Like Killua's best chance at victory, I mean honestly, when you explain like how would Killua win, it's like he has to use Godspeed and he has to hope he does enough damage to the point where it's almost impossible actually when I start saying it, because it's like let's say he hits him with Godspeed and let's say Kurapika is at like 20% afterwards. He has to like immediately cook Kurapika right after that without being hit by an invisible chain. Otherwise Kurapika will just like heal himself back up and then just start winning, right? So
oh yeah, by the way, I don't think that invisible chain trick would work. Is because he's taught by Bisky to always use Gyo at any movement that his enemy does. So I don't think that works. But I don't think the ability will trip in the first place, because I think Kurapika is just that guy and he's just that smart to just avoid the intent and just sit down, look at him and watch him waste his aura away and then beat his ass later.
That's possible.
That's what I think the fight goes to.
Another thing I'll say though, it seems like Godspeed lasts longer if Killua was not fighting. Like when he was with when he was running away in the election arc, it seems like Godspeed lasts longer than it does when he's just fighting. Like when he was fighting oh, go ahead.
Oh, that was Speed of Lightning, not Whirlwind. There's two different things. Whirlwind is way faster than Speed of Lightning by miles and miles.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, so let's say that Killua goes into Godspeed and because it's like he'll go into it so that he can do damage, right? Like if he's just doing it to run away, then he's kind of just wasting his electricity, and once it runs out, he's cooked. So he would use it to attack Kurapika eventually. It's like, but if he's not fighting, then it lasts for like several minutes, like up to around 10 minutes, maybe a little longer.
Hey bro, can I drop a speed feat in the debate chat for you?
Yeah.
I got this from Reaper, right? Lucifer, not Reaper, Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Like when me and him were debating P2 versus Crollo, right? And then we realized, Crollo has a statement saying he could react faster than 0.2 seconds when he was blind, when he was like around, he could react about 0.2 seconds when he was blind and off guard from an attack from Kurapika, right? And he said that's more than enough time. That's loaded for him. meaning it's probably like above 0.2 seconds. Kurapika scales to that level of strength, right?
You dropped it in the
Because
chat.
like he's yeah, I dropped it in the chat, right?
The general one?
Reaper made this. Yeah, no, not the general. The debate chat. What we were hitting, bro.
Okay, I clicked debate. I don't see anything. Wait, though, like, where is it?
The one that has Lucifer's name on top.
It's next to your mute button. You're on your phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like right in the middle. It's like a.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm still learning the ways of Discord. Okay, I see this. So he said, but above all, for this distance, even attacking very quickly with his chain, he needed 2 to 3/10 of a second. That's plenty of time for Crollo to dodge. That's pretty wild. I want to find that exact chapter number. I could pull it up on screen, but I don't know what chapter number that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. But an off guard, blinded, Crollo is at least relative to Pito, bro. I don't see Killua being at that speed at base. I think base Kurapika just blitzes him too. And Godspeed doesn't work on him because he's just too smart. And he just will let him waste it and just not attack him. That's how I think it would go.
I see what you're saying because it says like Pito's ability takes like 0.1 seconds to activate. And Crollo can react to things within 0.2 of a second. So I see what you're saying there. That is a kind of interesting thing. But I still think Pito slams Crollo though. But that's like a different debate though. But
let's debate that one. That'll be fun.
I can do that. Maybe tomorrow or something. But okay, sure. That was 15 minutes though. Is there any like closing points you wanted to say?
Yo, Crollo's on top. Castro's on top. Castro's the GOAT. Second, please keep your live stream at a better time for me, bro. It's 3 o'clock. It's 3:17, bro. I got assignments to do, bro. Have mercy. Later, and I'm gonna go to sleep right now. I'll fail my classes. Later, fam.
All right, peace out, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone else? Does anyone else like to go? Would like to go?
Hey, can I say something real quick? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you, bro. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, I don't really want to debate the topic just because it's obvious, but I want to say real quick, man, you need to do more streams like that one where it was like Mihawk versus Shanks, because let me tell you, like the super chats were rolling in, especially if you take the unpopular side, dude, you're going to get so many people coming. People were so pissed. They were so ready to ride for Mihawk, man.
Thanks, man. I will do more. I'll definitely do more One Piece ones too. I think I'm going to do Sanji versus Zoro tomorrow. And yeah, I think that would be a fun one. I don't know like how that turnout would be, but I can try that tomorrow and see. I would defend Sanji, so.
Yeah, well, if you defend Sanji, you're probably going to make like $1 billion, so.
I'll try. It.
Yo, it's on Zoro.
Okay,
So carried.
But
that was all, thanks.
Oh, that was all. Okay.
Cool talking to you.
Dude, thanks.
Hold and lend me some hockey. Lucci we're up against.
That'll be a fun debate where he said, "Oh, that's gonna be toxic." Is there anyone else who wants to debate Kurapika versus Killua? Because it seems like it's ending up being the same thing over. Oh, Apple, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing great besides somebody egoing my DMs, but...
No,
yeah,
I've just been busy, bro. I really haven't been...
You're chilling. How have you been, bro?
I've been good, man. Just grinding, trying to get a lot of content out as much as I can.
Hey, much respect, bro. Much respect. No. Who do you take in that?
Wait, in Killua versus Kurapika? Or are you talking...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, so I think they both have win conditions, but I'm leaning towards Kurapika. I think he would be slightly more likely to win.
My main issue with like at least what I think, I'm assuming we're referencing Godspeed, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I think like Godspeed actually wins is, I know this is crazy. I think Godspeed Killua actually gets stronger from like Chimera Ant to like the tag arc.
Like the election?
I guess you could call it I'm referencing Aluka and all that. Like, I think he gets stronger from then to there.
Like, oh, wait, real quick. That's very interesting. I want to talk about that. Just real quick, I got 2 super chats. One's from Snailium. He said, I agree, more One Piece streams for sure. Thank you, Snailium. And then Apex said, who do you think is the strongest person general tier of fighter Bisky can beat without transforming? Without transforming, maybe, dude, that's kind of a tough question. She's like a little bit stronger than base Killua and Greed Island without transforming. So I'd have to think about that a little more deeply. I'll think about that a bit more after this debate. It's like, who's the strongest person Greed Island Killua could beat? It's pretty much the same question, and then just a little bit above that. But I'd have to think about that a little more. She'd be like around Genthru Goon level in her kid form, but I have to think about that more. But okay, going back to what you were saying, Apple, I paused the timer for that. So you were saying you think he got stronger from Chimera Ant to where exactly?
To like the election arc pass, like basically by the end, right? I think he should have gotten pretty significantly stronger, actually.
And like stronger in which way?
Like in everything, speed, strength. I think he should be tactically better.
I think that's possible, yeah. Just because like they get.
It's possible. I just think it's probable.
Just because they get like stronger from arc to arc, that's been pretty consistent.
I think it's the reason they get stronger. Okay, so what happens is like every arc, right? A new level of challenger rises that they have to not only train towards, but just like have battles against these people. I believe having battles against these people has this capability to spark a higher level of strength overall, right? So because Killua is just consistently fighting people like massively above his level, whether that be UP, him trying to outspeed P2, him running away from Hisoka and Illumi, right? Like all these things constantly happening, right? Him being in so many more Nen battles and constantly using his new Nen technique, his Hatsu, right? I would say that it's probabilistic that he's probably gotten a fair bit stronger since he fought UP.
I think, I actually agree. Because I mean, like, we see it in every arc, especially in between Greed Island to Chimera Ant arc. Like, they get stronger, and it's like implied that Gon and Killua like train their abilities off screen, and they're like training their Ten and Ren off screen, just from them like doing better and better feats. Or you could just say like they're such geniuses that like each fight they get a lot stronger. Like there's.
Well, I think that's a part of it actually. I would like to go into that if you don't mind, but if you know, like a big part of their training and actually getting strong, getting like a year's worth of training in, right, in a short period of time is like fighting Knuckle. And I have this question for you. Do you think that like if they were able with that training from Bisky and like fighting Knuckle every night on that low level, got him a year's worth of training, that fight between him and Yuppie, how much gains do you think he got, right? Like, I think he probably got a lot of gains. He was fairly fatigued probably from constant, just fighting and overall having to deal with everything. And his tactical ability probably went up from having to deal and seeing with the tactics of, like, very high Nen users.
Honestly, like, you saying that is making me think about the series very differently, because I just thought about, like, when they fought Beanalt, Killua has a line of dialogue where he's, like, fighting this life or death battle, we're getting a lot stronger, like, at a fast rate. So you could make an argument that, like, any time Gon or Killua have a life or death battle, because they're geniuses, they get like a boost every time. Like, you could make an argument just for them for that, honestly, because of how fast they learn against Beanalt. Like, yeah,
and it's like, how fast do you think he learned against like Yuppie? Like,
yeah, he probably did get stronger. It's just like to what degree and in what way. Like, that is where it gets interesting. Because, like, for example, against Beanalt, it took them 10 days to surpass Beanalt. Like, the manga like has an exact panel where it said it took them 10 days to like be able to beat him individually. But like just one singular fight, I don't know exactly how much of a gain he would get from just one fight.
Well, it's the level difference too. Like, I think a level difference also forces a higher adaptation. But like, I would say this, like, even if you don't think it's the same amount of gains, even though that like the gains are pretty consistent, that like, you know, this like 10 days equates to a year, and I think it's the same for the Beano thing. Like, they went from like being weaker than Beano to the point of getting like speed blitzed in one shot by heavily weakened Beano to being able to basically do the same to a fully powered Beano in 10 days, and then kind of like the whole year's worth of training and 10, you know, I think it was 2 weeks or something. Was it a month? Maybe, right? Basically saying that, like, well, pretty consistently fighting on this level for a short period of time gives super boost. So even if it was one fight against somebody that strong, even if it gave them, like, 3 months higher worths of training, and you were leaning on, like, either or side, and you were like, well, it could be a 50-50 battle, I would say then that probably would lean closer to Killua with this newfound foundation that he probably did get a good bit stronger.
It's possible. I mean, like, when I really think about it, I think he, like, just doing the entire Chimera Antark mission, like the palace invasion, I think that overall made Killua a little stronger. I don't know exactly how much. Another, like, if you wanted to highball Killua, like, you could highball him really high if you wanted to say, like, you know how in the election arc he uses Godspeed to run away the whole time, but it lasts for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
If you wanted to highball Killua, you could say he went from just being able to do one combo to being able to fight in Godspeed for 10 minutes. But I think that's a highball because it seems like Godspeed just runs out faster if he's using Whirlwind and like doing combos versus if he's running away. That's kind of how I see it.
To be fair, like, seems like versus is two different things because we don't see them together. Like, it's not like he uses Whirlwind again. Like, it's not like we directly get to see, okay, well, he uses Whirlwind here, and, like, Whirlwind still is going slowly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really... we run into the issue of, like, I just wish Hunter x Hunter had more chapters and we could see Killua fight more people so we see how it interacts with more people. But I would say, like, no matter how much stronger he got, he still seemed like he didn't want to fight Illumi, Hisoka, or Tsubone.
I would actually like to go into that. So I think the biggest thing there would be, like, the reason he might have not wanted to do this actually might have just been the idea that, like, Killua himself, even if he thought he could beat them, it was like a time thing. It's like, okay, well, if I fight Hisoka, right? Let's say I beat Hisoka, right? And it's like a mid to high diff, right? And then it's like, okay, well, I fight Hisoka, and then I have to go ahead and fight Illumi. Well, can I mid to high diff Illumi too? Or will I lose to Illumi? How do I protect Aluka and have a mid to high diff battle with these people when there's multiple of them and I have, like, no real support?
Yeah, that's an argument too. I mean, I just think, like, the thing that backs up Killua still being below them was that, like, Silva thought Tsubone could beat him. That was, like, why he sent Tsubone specifically, was to, like, KO Killua if he, like, broke rules.
He like, just doesn't know how strong Killua is, though. Like, I don't even think we know he knows about Godspeed.
Well, they had a line of dialogue where Tsubone's chasing after Killua while he's in Godspeed, like they're running through the forest, and Tsubone's like, if I didn't know about this ability beforehand, I would have lost him here. So it's like, I don't know how she would have known about it beforehand, but
I'm pretty sure Killua uses it, no?
I think that's like the first time he uses it. I can also, like, I can pull that chapter up. Tsubone actually does give Killua an insane feat that I've, like, kept out of my videos because Killua's already, like, the most highballed character. But in the manga, it's like she says, like, he'll surpass Illumi soon. Like, she says that about him. I don't remember.
Well, to be fair, you know what? I'll use that, and I'll say like the version of Killua she sees isn't the strongest version of Killua because I don't think he's using Whirlwind there. So if it's like he'll surpass him soon, and then Whirlwind is a more physical amp, then he probably surpasses him in Whirlwind.
But she also like corrects herself. She's like, "Oh, I shouldn't be saying that." Like it's kind of debatable. She might just be saying that because she favors him.
I shouldn't be saying that. Might just be because of like favoritism or like saying like like I don't think that necessarily means that like she's saying like, oh, this is wrong. She's saying I shouldn't be saying that, meaning she probably just shouldn't be speaking on things like that.
It's possible. It's like I've always kept that out of my videos just because it's like it's such a debatable thing, and it's like Killua was already so highballed by the verse. Okay, so yeah, this is the first time he uses Godspeed. Oh, real quick, I got another super chat here. Let me pause the timer.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But thank you, Jesse. You said new One Piece chapter is going to be insane based off spoilers. Do you read spoilers or wait for the full chapter? I love to listen to your videos during work. Thank you, man. Well, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. I usually don't read the spoilers. I usually just wait for the full chapter. But all right, me showing this panel on stream will open the floodgates. But let me go ahead and do this. I've always like avoided this because this makes, I don't know. I just think he's already too overhyped. But I'll just go ahead and do it.
I get you, man.
This is a good thing people can use in debates here. I've always just like not talked about this, but here it's right here. It's okay, so this is Tsubone chasing after Killua. Okay, and in the manga she says, okay, so it's different in the manga and the anime. In the anime she says like, if I hadn't known about this ability beforehand, I wouldn't have been able to keep up. But here she says, this looks so bad. She says he'll leave Master Illumi in the dust. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know. That might fall into like the Killua definitely being above, like I was saying, where like maybe like Killua is above these guys, which I think based off of like, you know, what we've talked about before, and that's perfectly fine that he's above these guys. The reason he doesn't fight them is just simply because he's all this like defensive thing, and it's like, okay, well, he's above them. He beats like Illumi. Can he also beat Hisoka?
That's a worthwhile debate. Like, so I've thought about this scene a lot because like the manga has a different definition than the anime does here. And there's like different ways you can interpret it. It's like, one, you could just say like, oh, he'll literally leave Illumi in the dust like in the future, which is, I don't think anyone debates that. Like, that just means his potential's like way above Illumi's, and like everyone already knows that. That's one way you can think of it.
Yeah, they've already said that as a family before. Like, she's already.
Yeah, but
she's. Yeah.
And then that's one way of saying it. Another way is you could say she's just saying like Illumi won't be able to catch him, but I don't really think that's what she's saying. I think she's more referring to his strength, like he's going to just be way stronger than Illumi. And it kind of implies like he might already be close.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, I think the implication here is that at the bare minimum they're relative. She's like he's gonna leave him in the dust, not like, oh, he's gonna catch up or something. He's gonna leave him in the dust. Implies that he has to be somewhere around that level.
Yeah. And then, but immediately after that, she says, but enough of my opinions. I just can't cotton to Master Illumi and Maluki. They take after their mother too much. So it's kind of like showing some favoritism for Killua.
It might be favoritism, but like that favoritism can just come from the idea that Killua is the strong. So like she might favorite Killua because Killua is like the heir, right? Like she believes that Killua's potential is insane, and like now he's finally following through on it. Like the two don't have to be mutually exclusive.
That's a good point too. It's like this, like I might do a stream where I get the manga of it and then I get the anime translation and then just like have a whole stream just talking about like Killua versus Illumi just with this. Because it is interesting. it's like this is like Killua's greatest feat in the whole manga, but it's kind of like the fact that Tsubone like thinks she can still beat him though. I don't think she's beating Illumi, and Hisoka sees Godspeed too and still thinks it's not a big deal.
Well, again, like, okay, so for one, right, Tsubone just might be that crack because the one Butler, like, fought against Hisoka and just doesn't do that bad, and she just might be a lot stronger. And for two, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, Hisoka, like, himself has just stated multiple times to think he's the strongest and, like, kind of not care about his opponent. So, like, he might look at somebody like P2 and still be the same way because that's just how he acts. Especially if I already don't think Killua's, like, far away from them. Like, I don't think, like, Killua's massively stronger. I think he's just slightly stronger. So if Hisoka saw this opponent, he wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, like, this guy is massively stronger than me. He'd be more likely be like, oh, yeah, I'm stronger than this guy.
No, those are good arguments, man. And I think, like the thing with Killua, bro, is I was talking about it earlier. Oh, wait, hold up. I think I missed one donation. One from Weary. He said, he's just making another joke. He said, huff, huff, give me some inhalers, Oda. Huff, huff, this is Lucci. Base Lucci, we're up against Roranora Vista victim Zoro. Okay. Thanks for the donation, man. But here's the thing. Like, when it comes to Killua, I like actively go out of my way to not like hype him up any more than the fandom already has, because like throughout the whole series Togashi seems like he worked pretty hard at making it a balanced verse. So like the concept to me that like Killua went from getting low diffed by Bisky to suddenly now he could be like a Royal Guard tier opponent just because he thought of a new ability. Something that theoretically every Zoldyck would be able to do because they all went through lightning training. Like, to me, that doesn't really make as much sense. But
if you want to do this, like, actually this would prove that he isn't Royal Guard level, because you could say that this is saying he's not above him yet, or not massively above Crollo yet, and they would have to concede to the idea that Crollo is also like Royal Guard tier, which nobody's gonna do.
Yeah, I agree. It's just it seems to me like Killua in Godspeed, like when he's in that form, he does have like Royal Guard level speed, but his attack power is still pretty low compared to like the Royal Guard guys. But
I think he's faster then, but yeah.
Yeah, I lean towards that too. He is super strong, but I don't think Togashi made Godspeed like a Super Saiyan transformation where like he goes Godspeed and now he's suddenly Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and no one in the verse can touch him anymore. I think like there'd be a lot of people who could still beat him. It's kind of like if you read One Piece around like the 200 or 300 chapters when we first saw Anil. We thought Anil was just like the strongest in the world, but now we realize like Anil's like fodder. Like there's like a bunch of fodder people who could beat him. I just think Hunter x Hunter didn't get fully fleshed out, and Killua kind of gets the Anil treatment. But and yeah, I want to pull up the anime interpretation of this too, and there's a couple different translations of it, but yeah, this like one scene is Killua's greatest feat, where Tsubone straight up says he'll leave Master Illumi in the dust. But it's like that can still be interpreted different ways. Like it's either she's like, if you highball it, that's saying Killua's already stronger than Illumi and like will get,
but like not far.
Yeah, and like will keep getting stronger. Or you could say he's close in power to Illumi. Or if you're lowballing Killua, you could just say she's like, oh, she recognizes his potential even more, and eventually he'll reach a point where Illumi will be nowhere close. But they all already know that, So I think like it more does imply that Killua was like relative to Illumi already, at least with Godspeed. But I don't know, that whole thing. This really, I could make a whole stream just on this one panel because I've never seen another YouTuber talk about it actually.
Yeah, it'd be definitely interesting.
I might do a Killua versus a Lumi and just focus, like mainly use this and just talk about it. But also a Lumi has one-shot abilities, and like if Killua fought a Lumi, Godspeed's not even gonna hurt him because Illumi also went through lightning training, so it's like Godspeed would hurt him about as much as like Godspeed hurts Killua, like nothing, you know. So
Yeah, I was just having that conversation with somebody where I was trolling, and I was like, yeah, I don't think Godspeed's gonna work on Phaeton because like Phaeton might just have electricity training.
that would be wild. That would be wild.
I was like in the anime, like he can sharpen his like fingers, like
Just saying he's like another Zoldyck.
yeah. I was like, even if you don't think he's another Zoldyck or whatever, like he might just be like an assassin / he's an assassin archetype. So he might just have these like these like torture trainings because he's like the #1 torturer on the Phantom Troop.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting like things in Hunter x Hunter that are still worth discussing. So I think maybe this week I will do a Killua versus a Lumi debate and see if anyone will debate for Killua. If no one does, maybe I would debate for Killua just to like help. But
I mean, I would totally debate for Killua.
Okay, well then that would be good. We'll have at least one person. There'll probably be more than just one. But is there any like final points you wanted to say for like Killua versus Kurapika though?
I would just say that I don't think Kurapika can visualize Killua's speed. I think the second he gets like stunned for a little bit, Killua is just gonna put the brakes on him. Even if you don't think he's like Corolla level in physical strength, he's able to physically damage UP in the manga. Like in the anime, I know it says he doesn't, but in the manga, it's just very clear that he does. Like, he leaves red marks on UP and everything, and actually gets UP super excited. So, if he damages UP, and UP might be, like, above this, like, Netero level, like, in physical strength, and Netero in physical strength is stronger than, like, Uvagin, and Uvagin with, like, 50% of his power could just, like, break through Killua's arm. What do you think's gonna happen when Killua can't react? I mean, Kurapika can't react to Killua, and Killua's just like speeding around, like one punching all of his bones.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if Killua could go beyond what Kurapika's defense can handle, then Killua does just win with Godspeed. Because it all really does just come down to like, can Kurapika survive a Godspeed onslaught? If he can survive it, then he can heal himself back up and then win afterwards. But if Killua can kill him in one onslaught, then Killua would win.
Yeah, which I think he probably could. Like, even if you don't think he has... I'll make this clear. Me thinking he can damage UP does not mean I think he's as physically strong as UP, as I do think, like, UP isn't able to concentrate on his actual, like, defenses. I just also think, like, Kurapika would have that same nerf, yet Kurapika's, like, massively less defensive built than somebody like UP.
It is possible, man. It's an interesting debate because I mean, these two, like, they both have win conditions over each other, so it's just interesting to talk about it. It really kind of could go either way, so it's pretty interesting. But okay, I think that's everything I'll do for this debate. I actually had 2 other live streams I wanted to do tonight. I had not debate ones, but I had like 2 other analysis ones, so I want to go ahead and get into those. Was there anyone that didn't get to go that wanted to share like one quick point before I like ended the debate portion? No, I think everybody got to share. Apple, thanks for tuning in, bro. You always add a lot to the debates. So thanks for...
Of course, bro.
Thanks for tuning in, and I will reply to you. My fault for... I just really haven't been like on Discord a lot. But
no, you're fine. You're fine, bro.
But
thank you.
No worries, bro. But yeah, thank you everybody in the Discord chat. I'm gonna close out this one, and then I'm gonna start up another stream in a few minutes here. But thank you everybody who is in the Discord. I'm gonna head out. So peace out, you guys. Okay, so everybody in the YouTube chat, how are you guys doing? I have two other live streams I wanted to do for you guys. I have one just talking about like the hiatuses in Hunter x Hunter, just literally analyzing the hiatuses, and then I have another one that I was actually planning to do on Father's Day, but it's kind of like more, I mean, it's an actual analysis, but it's titled Jing is a Deadbeat, and I was just going to analyze how much of a deadbeat Jing is. I got like all the deadbeat panels. Which one would you guys rather have first? Do you want the one where I'm analyzing the hiatuses? Or do you guys want the one where I'm analyzing Jing just being an actual deadbeat canonically? Which one would you guys want first? Suki, so you're saying Killua is Hisoka level? No, I don't think he is. I think Killua is like still weaker than people like Bisky. He's like relative to Tsubone. This is just Killua's best statement in the manga, and then this statement actually like isn't exactly the same in the anime. It's like actually like pretty different in the anime. I'll have to make a whole stream on this one statement, but I wanted to like put this out there because it's something people can use in like Killua debates to say like Killua is like relative to Illumi. And I was just like, I was hoping someone else would bring this up at some point, but like no one's brought it up yet, so I just like thought, you know what, I'll just bring it up. So this is something people could say that Killua with Godspeed is relative to Illumi, but yeah, even that's debatable because like the anime definition is a little different, and this can imply a couple different things here. But which one would you guys want first? Okay, I'm not really seeing any votes, so I'll just pick one of these at random. I'll either do the Jing as a deadbeat or the hiatus analysis one. I'm just gonna get some water, maybe get a snack, and then I'll get into the next stream. All right. So thank you guys, thank you everybody for tuning into this one. I appreciate the views, I appreciate the comments. This was a fun debate. If there is some points that like you wanted to say but like didn't hear get said in the debate, just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next